Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and we got some more gay shit to talk about. Let's cue up the music and we'll get right to it. Alright, first off, we all know live service games suck, right? Live service games suck. In general, there's a few of them out there that are pretty good. They're the ones making all the money, while the other 98% of them are just sucking wind and making no money and struggling for the tiniest piece of what remains of a pie. Concord, new game coming out, new live service game coming out, just showed up at the PlayStation State of Play a few days ago. Well, the lead character designer believes whites must acknowledge their privileged position and then actively work for equality. Also claims the judicial system is white supremacy. So here we go again. First off, this game looks like absolute trash. And to have, I'm sure these are older tweets that have surfaced. I don't know, I haven't looked into this yet, but yeah, let's take a look at it. John Wisniewski, the lead character designer for Firewalk Studios, he's the lead character designer. He's the guy responsible for this beast, this horrid-looking thing, this Lizzo. Anyways, the lead character designer for Firewalk Studios, the developer of the recently announced Concord game, is a woke activist that buys into the claim that white people are privileged. I love this claim. It's always so funny. You see all this poor white trash across the U.S. suffering just as bad as any other race because of poverty. Not because they're white, not because they're black, not because they're anything else, but because of poverty. Cops are going to treat them the same way they treat any other poor person they find in a questionable situation. It's a class thing, really. Poor neighborhoods tend to have more crime. They're going to be more heavily patrolled by police officers. If you're wandering around at an odd hour of the night, the police are going to question you. It's whatever. So following PlayStation showcasing Concord as part of their most recent State of Play video at the end of May, the game's character designs were mocked across the internet. In the gaming subreddit, user G. Petrakas declared, "Concord might have the ugliest character designs I've ever seen." Yeah, they're pretty bad. Other users agreed. Got an album covers. Almost fell for that one. Yeah, I'm not too keen on the character design either, but I'm also tired of Pixar toon look that most teen shooters have had since 2007. Amen. It's like they asked ChatGPT to make Overwatch again, but strip it of all identity. Piss yellow, moldy green, wine purple, and blue lipstick. Who thought this was an acceptable color palette need to go? Yeah, it is absolutely horrible. And it's not just on Reddit. We got Manga Lawyer here on X saying Concord is the new progressive and modern shooter for PlayStation and PC. It features 5 black women, 4 aliens, 3 robots, and 1 white man. It's incredibly diverse and non-heteronormative. Plus, it has pronouns. Are you excited? This game couldn't be less exciting. Grums, Mark Kern. Concord, a new game by Firewalk Studios, is so focused on inclusive gaming that they forgot the white guys in their game. Inclusive should not mean racist against white people, but it too often does. So I love this argument, because this argument only goes one direction for these clowns, right? They say they want gaming to be more inclusive. They say they want it to be more representative of them and how they look and how they are and all that kind of stuff. So when they make games that are based on that, right? They say, well, let's make a game that's representative of us. And then the game doesn't sell. They get mad at white guys because we didn't buy it and we didn't play it. But it's not representing us. So if we're using that same logic you guys are using, then why are you mad, right? If you won't play a game because the main character's a white dude, then why should we play a game where the main character's Lizzo in a set of crappy reject armor? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't see why it works that way. As noted by Grums, not only does Firewalk make it clear They're pushing inclusion as a value at their company, but the company's lead character designer has made it clear he's a woke activist. And that's just what we need. Yeah, back in 2020, he responded to a post by former Bungie lead programmer Peter Katevsky, who stated, "Thinking that all white people are unconsciously racist is the same as thinking that all black people are unconsciously lazy." Let that one sink in for a second. It's true, right? Both are very racist statements. But John, the defender of all things black, says this is an oversimplification. The sentiment being expressed is that whites must acknowledge their privileged position and then actively work for equality. It will be hard and confronting work, but if we don't, we're complicit, and complicity allows systemic racism to persist. And this goes on and on and on. John, I'm not accusing you, myself, all whites of being Jim Crow racists. I don't think anyone hearing it should immediately take it that way. Whites in America have always had an advantage in our social, economic justice systems just because we're white. And it just goes on and on. He's a complete and utter clown. The white knight for the black man. So, this goes on for a bit. I'll link it down below, but this isn't the only thing I want to talk about today, But this is like these games don't have enough reasons not to play them, right? First off, the market's oversaturated with these, and they're all kind of clones of better games, right? Whether it be Overwatch or anything else. People are tired of them. There's too many of them, and yeah, they're all getting this cartoony Pixar aesthetic, like the one guy said, and it's just stupid looking. And now let's make it worse. Let's put pronouns in there, or undecided for Lark, because Lark is undecided. I mean, how do we even know yeah, so if you don't have enough reasons to not play Concord, well, here's another one for you guys. But we're not done. Overwatch 2 and Valorant voice actors demand players become LGBTQ+ for the month of June, or they cannot play. This is a screenshot of Gecko from Valorant. I guess he's the token homo in the game. Or is it like Concord, where everybody is probably a homo? Yeah. So, Ruiz, who voices the character of Gecko, made his demand first posting on June 1st. You are now required to be LGBT to play Valorant. Being a straight Val player is illegal for the next 30 days. And there we go. That's just, it's silly, right? I mean, the game sucks. Why do you have to make the players suck as well, Alejandro? Isla Campbell, who voices Clove in Valorant, concurred, responding to Ruiz, "I agree. It's the law." Valeria Rodriguez, who voices Venture in Overwatch 2, responded to Ruiz, writing on X, "I'm just going to copy this and say it's the same for Overwatch. Sorry, straight." Yeah, I would imagine if the roles were reversed, Rodriguez replied, "Nah." They're so fucking tone deaf and retarded. It's unbelievable. As noted by American Life League, homosexuals desperately crave public acceptance for their perversions, and they will stoop to almost any deception in order to obtain it. And here's the gay agenda they talk about. The closing of all churches that oppose them, the total destruction of the family, exile and actual murder of those who oppose them in any way, the conversion by forced sodomy of all young men to homosexuality, God, the official condemnation of normal love between men and women, and the raising of private armies of thugs to enforce their agenda. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. This is the slippery slope we went down. This all really started snowballing after we did the whole gay marriage thing. Maybe it's time to rescind that, I mean, you guys want to play hardball. We'll play hardball with you. You guys keep pushing like this, pushing your agenda on children and pushing on players and just people in general and trying to force all this on us. We'll throw you back in the closet and shut the door and lock it eventually. I mean, that's the way it's going to end up being. You cannot continue to put pressure against something and not expect an equal and opposite amount of force and to be applied eventually, and sometimes even more. Sometimes even more. God. Ironically, the demand that players become LGBTQ in order to play the game also reject the idea that individuals with the same-sex attraction are just born that way. And American Life League points out, homosexuals themselves generally don't believe that their orientation is genetic or inborn. Alfred Kinsey, the originator of the 10% myth, conducted a survey of 979 homosexuals in 1970. Before the gay rights movement had gathered momentum, he found that less than 10% of his respondents believed they were born that way. More than 80% attributed their sexual orientation to childhood trauma or environmental influences. Let that one sink in for a moment. And unfortunately, a lot of this has come up from sexual abuse. Not saying all of it, but a lot of it. And then you've got environmental influences, right? People that you hang out with that are that way. Watching celebrities embrace this, and musicians and all that. You know, kids are very impressionable at a young age. When they're exposed to this kind of stuff, it's going to increase their chances of becoming that way and going against the natural order of things, thus destroying the family and destroying humanity ultimately, because homosexuality is a genetic dead end, you know. And I've said this before, everybody in your family tree has reproduced until you, and now you willfully choose not to. It's one thing if you can't. There's people that can't reproduce, you know, but there you are willfully choosing not to reproduce, you know. Your ancestors went through all kinds of horrors and stuff like that to get you where you are today, and that's how you reward them. Absolutely disgusting, you know. And this demand is just boom. I hope Pride Month goes away. I hope they shut it down in the next few years. You know, I'm seeing less and less companies participate in it, less and less of these stupid ass flags in companies' bios and all that, and I'm glad for that. Pride Month needs to go. Don't even give them a fucking day at this point, you know. You gave an inch, they took a mile, now they're trying to take their children down the road with you too, and it's absolutely disgusting. They can go to hell. Put them back in the closet. Anyway, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. If you haven't done so already, please leave a like on the video down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications. If this pissed you off, sorry. Try not to be pissed. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Until then, peace.